So this is a new concept for us. No router that I know of does anything like this. That's why I wanted to go and build it, because I thought, you know what? I'm tired of maintaining all these URLs myself. So I'm just going to build something that's going to do it for me. Now, the system currently works on React Router, so you can use it in your SPA application. And it works with the Next.js for App Router, as we've seen here, naturally. And of course, the Next.js is giving you that typesafe routing. So it's taking use of everything that's there. So this is, I think, honestly, potentially competitive with something like tRPC, except that in this.
Whoa. Okay. I have to try this out, and I have to see how this declarative routes compare with tRPC itself. Let's go. Hi. Jack Harrington just dropped a package called Declarative Routing, which is a way for you to have type-safe routes in Next.js and React Router. We'll be covering how easy it is to integrate it inside a Next.js application and how it compares against tRPC. For integrating declarative routes into an application, we'll be using UpUp. UpUp is an application that I had built 5-6 months ago, which is an AMA application. Let's see how it works. Right now I have signed in. After signing in, I'll be presented with a dashboard, which looks something like this. Now there aren't too many links inside the application. There are just two: join room and dashboard. And there are other two post routes, which are join room and create room, which will be updating. Let's see how it looks like. So first we need to run the installation script. After I run the script, you can see that it already knows which source directory I'm working with, which is the app directory, which is perfect. Where do I want to store my routes? I'll store it in the routes directory for now. I don't want any open API output. Okay, it has generated a README file for me. Let's see what it contains. Okay, it has detected all the links that I'm using and all the API routes that I have. The two post routes, which are join room and create room. Wow, pretty nice. Currently, the links in my application are not type safe at all. The way I'm using them is by hard coding a string. And of course, as we all know, this is not very type safe. We can make mistakes. If there is any refactoring that is required, then you're basically effed. Let's see how I'll be updating my routes. I'll be starting with the AMA route. This is the routes index file that the declarative route has generated for me. And I want this AMA route to be updated. So I'll simply go over here and update it. Great. It works the same. Nice. Now let's see how I can achieve a similar thing inside my routes, API routes. I'll go with create room right now. As you can see, create room accepts a request. It has a parameter of request, which is basically the request that is passed through from the client to the backend. The request object also contains the body, which has the name of the room that you're trying to create. As you can see, I'm not doing any type checks at all, and I'm directly just running through it and hoping that the user has provided a name, which is probably a string and everything. So yeah, not safe at all. Now, how can I make this better so that at least when I'm working with it, I can make the right API calls and send in the right parameters to the backend? So for this, we'll be editing the route.info.ts. Each .info.ts file is meant to be edited, and as you can see, the post has a body and result. Now the result is not what we will be updating right now. We'll only be updating the body. So there'll be the name and it'll be a string. Nice. and create room we'll be replacing this function with the function that is generated by the DR for us. DR has generated the function post API create room. This is the endpoint which I'll have to hit with the right parameters for me to create the room. Await post create API room. Perfect. And now this accepts the body, which has to have a name.trim. And just like that, I have updated my API route to be type safe without using tRPC or any other schemas, except of course the route.info.ts, which has schemas in it. Let's go to the dashboard and create another room. Perfect. And just like that, I was able to send in the right parameter back to the backend, the right payload, and I received the message room created and success true, which of course I can go ahead and update in the route that I want this to be the result that I'll be expecting to receive. But I'm not going to be playing around with it right now. Alright, now that we have covered how the API routes are being handled and are very type safe because of Sword schema and how declarative routes help in that, now we'll be looking at how declarative routes is different and similar to tRPC. Right, we have declarative routes and tRPC. Now the similarities between declarative routes and tRPC is that both of them provide a type safe way for you to handle your API routes. That's it. I feel that's where the similarities end. Now we'll be talking about the differences, because I think that's where the value of each of them comes. The first is the middleware. tRPC has a way for you to handle all the incoming routes through a single router. This helps in performing any types of checks that are required. For example, if the user is authenticated or not, you can provide them using a single router and then use that to handle all the requests. Now, I didn't find anything similar in declarative routes yet, but I could be wrong. Second, we'll be talking about the links. The links, which is a feature that is very unique to declarative routes. So plus to this, and of course, there's no such feature in tRPC. So you cannot have routes in tRPC, basically links in tRPC, which are type safe, but you can have them in declarative routes. Now, what DR gives you, the benefit DR has, is that it checks each and every route that you have and each and every href that you put inside that link. So that I think is really powerful. But of course, tRPC is only for APIs. Alright. Third, we'll be talking about the setup. Now, setup is where I feel tRPC is a little cumbersome and it does require a little bit of effort. But once you have set up tRPC, then it becomes really easy for you to add on new functionalities. So I would say tRPC is on the mid-range. It's not too difficult, not too bad. But declarative routes, you just run a single script and your whole project, it scans your whole project for any links that you're using, any routes that you have, and then just converts them directly into type safe routes and type safe links, which I think is very, very good. That is the big plus point about declarative routes. Now, of course, declarative routes is not production ready. It's only like been 2 months since the project started. Jack Harrington is looking for contributors actively. So, I mean, this is a golden opportunity for anyone who's looking out to contribute into the open source Next.js ecosystem. I don't know if declarative routes, the API routes, will be that useful to anyone because of tRPC and its super strong type safe API system. But I am definitely very bullish on the way declarative routes has been handling the links. I feel huge projects can benefit immensely from how declarative routes has the links type saved and how easy it is to update any of your links. This is the video comparing declarative routes and tRPC. I would personally always choose tRPC for my personal projects, but declarative routes are something special that I feel is very new and does require a lot of work that needs to be put in by the community right now. That said, I will definitely be using declarative routes in my next project just for the links feature of it. The links that declarative routes has is amazing. I mean, I'm blown away by how it works, and it's just brilliant that you can have your href inside the links be type safe. Yeah, I mean, that solves so many problems, right? You won't have to worry about any refactoring that you're doing when you're updating your routes. You won't have to worry about your query parameters if you're changing the name ever, because everything is handled by declarative routes and it is type safe. Yeah, kudos to Jack Harrington for heralding this project. um, Best of luck. I'll see you in the next one.